Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As you guys could tell from the title of this video, we may get a little political in this video, which if you guys have seen any of my videos, I don't necessarily like doing that. I'm not really going to share my opinions on who I like better in the current election situation, which side I'm on, because none of you guys really care about that. What you guys are here for is the finance news and the stuff like that that comes with the election that is going to be held on November 3rd of this year, which, it's just a real crazy final sprint here to the end. It'll be really interesting to see what happens in the market and in the election and how that impacts the market as a whole. As you guys see here, the S&P 500 is up today after being down the last several days, so that is good to see, up about 2%, which again is really nice to see. Before we get into this video, go ahead and smash the like button if you haven't already. It's the best way of showing your support for this channel. Really pushes the videos out to other people, other viewers, and allows them to see some good content, some unbiased content that I think could be beneficial to all people. And also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date on all the videos I will be posting. And like I said, I post 5 days a week. If there are any other videos you guys would like me to see me post, let me know in the comment section below, and we'll get right into it. So again, as you guys see, the S&P 500 is up about 60 points, or about 1.75%. But the main talking point of this article, or of this video, is going to be this article right here that says Wall Street Democrat hopes Biden beats Trump. It says a Biden win would initially hurt stocks, and I think the key word, it's kind of a negative headline, but obviously the key word they're trying to push here is initially. Let's read the key points here. Democratic donor Michael Novogratz, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's what we're going to call him for now, told CNBC that Biden defeating President Donald Trump would at first cause problems for the U.S. stock market. X-Fund turned cryptocurrency, but it said the Biden's plan to raise tax on capital gains, U.S. corporations, and wealthy Americans are negatives for the Wall Street. Well, that's obvious. That's not really something to write home about. That's not groundbreaking news. Obviously, raising capital gain tax, and I believe President Trump has been talking about cutting capital gains. Currently, a raise in that would be quite the dramatic thing, and potentially persuade those, obviously this is going to mostly affect the wealthier Americans, potentially not to invest. If they're going to be taxed ridiculously, then maybe they're not going to want to invest. However, Novogratz said that a Biden presidency may actually start balancing out the disproportionate gains made in stocks in the long run. Markets will be stronger. Now, this is one thing that I agree with and I disagree with. I think, obviously, this is something that's just going to happen. If Biden wins, and I think he's going to, unless something major happens in the next couple months, whether it's the debates or whatever it may be, which will be very entertaining to see. If Biden wins, the market will go down. And if people start getting the feeling again that he's going to win, the market will go down again. I mean, there's been some days where they release polls and then the market goes down because they see how far ahead Biden is or whatever it may be. The market's going to go down. He's pushing way too many socialist ideas. And then, whether it's a capital gains tax a hike, whatever it may be, that he's pushing these things. Obviously, that's not necessarily a socialist idea, but some of these ideas that aren't super user-friendly for the businesses, for the investors, for the whatever it may be, the market's going to go down, and it may be quite dramatic. I believe the Dow is at about 30,000 right now, and we can actually check that real quick. Dow Jones. 28,000. Obviously, the last couple of days it's gone down quite a bit, so it's recovering from those points. It wouldn't surprise me if we go back down to when the virus started, those kind of levels of like 22,000. People just selling out, whether it's putting money in gold or whatever it may be, and finding those quote-unquote safer investments, or maybe not even investing at all, just keeping their money on the sideline. You love to see that kind of breaking news right there. whether it's just, and again, keep their money on the sideline and not being involved, and hoping some good news comes out of it. So obviously the market's going to go down. Do I believe the gains right now are disproportionate? Yes and no. Again, if you guys saw in my videos last week on the NASDAQ and what the situation had been going on there, those gains were clearly disproportionate, but they were being fueled by something that was, shouldn't have been happening. A company was lying. A company was putting $9 billion into tech funds, into tech stocks and stuff like that. They were lying about what they were doing, and that was pushing the market up. They were gambling on these options, saying they're going to go up. So you know what happened? They did. And then they start pulling that money out, and then they see this movement. $9 billion, of course, that's going to scare the market. So do I think that's disproportionate? No. That's something that someone was doing wrong that was negatively affecting. There's a reason for that. And maybe at the end of the day, the economy is doing way better than we think it is. And maybe that's why the market's doing well as a whole. Markets will be stronger. I think there could be potentially a little less flaw in them, maybe a little less motivation for a big company like SoftBank to put $9 billion into the market on options, because they know the market's not that strong. So that's something that I don't think they're going to be any stronger than they currently are right now. Would cause first problems with the blah, blah, blah. I think Biden is going to win. I hope he wins. But if he wins, I think the market will go down, at least initially, because he's going to raise capital gains. If he wins, I don't think 2021 is going to be a very good year for investments. You may get the average 8% if you're safe about it, but those first several months are probably going to be very interesting to see what happens, and obviously how the rest of that plays out. There's a lot of people with a lot of gains. They're going to look and scratch their head and say, hey, better sell this year before the tax rate goes up. I 100% agree with that, and I agree with the people that would do that. That's just common sense. That's smart. If they announce that's going to happen, I will liquidate my positions. Obviously, I'm not going to be affected by these tax rates necessarily, but if I do get affected, I'm going to cash out and take what I have and run with it. Obviously, you should be in the market for over a year if you want preferential rates. But if they're going to raise those, maybe I'll cash out. So the stocks would also react negatively to Biden's plan to raise the U.S. corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%. That's quite a large jump. That's 7% there. Signed into law by Trump in late, cut the corporate tax rate. See, here's the problem. And this is why I don't necessarily like sitting here and talking about politics is because everything currently is just it's a bunch of little kids fighting. I mean, no one takes the time to truly understand the other side and truly respect their opinions. No one respects each other anymore, and that's a problem with not only Americans but obviously the politicians and again America as a whole. There's no respect for anybody. If you're on one side, you're born to hate the other side, and I think that's 100% wrong. These people really need to just sit down and have a conversation and come to an agreement. You're not going to be able to get anything done unless one side takes control of everything, and in which case that's not right either. Whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats, that it's not right for them to just push all their beliefs onto us just because they have the power. They need to do what is best for the American people. And I don't think that's socialism. I don't necessarily think everything Trump does is right either, obviously. But it's just we need to be civilized again. There's too much unrest in the nation. This is going to be a very interesting next couple of years, just as a whole, and I really fear for what could be coming. The Democratic president's nominee stated intention to raise taxes on the wealthy. Okay, So it says the 0.1% or the 1%. Okay. He just kind of goes on. Obviously, Biden leads Trump currently by 7.4% of the votes. For a year, White House would provide benefits to stocks. I don't really see that happening a whole lot. And this is kind of something that I just wanted to key in on. It says, even so, Novogratz contended for our country to actually start balancing out the disproportionate gains in the long run. If you get the country right and you get that balance right, markets will be stronger. I don't think the markets have ever been stronger than they are currently. Obviously, there have been some whales in the market, and you hate to see that. That's obviously a little bit of a fluke on the strength of the market. But everything has been really good these last couple of years in terms of finances, and the market as a whole. Obviously, we've seen extraordinary gains that you don't always see, and obviously Trump is pushing some of these policies and things like that to potentially inflate that. I'm sure that's going on. Obviously, you kind of have to be ignorant to ignore that. But the problem is when Biden gets elected, or if he gets elected, or whatever may happen, the market's not going to be stronger. There's no way it's going to be stronger than it is right now, or than it was 6 months ago, or 7 months ago, or 2 years ago, whatever it was. It's not going to be stronger than it was then. Could it be more balanced? Absolutely. I think the balance of the market would probably return with a Biden election, and that's probably true. But is the strength of it going to be more as a whole? No, that's not going to be the case. It's probably never going to be as strong as it is right now. If Trump gets reelected, maybe the next 4 years will be just as strong, or if we get someone in with similar policies, similar ideals for where he wants the country to head, he or she, I should say, where they want the country to head. Then maybe the market will return to this, but with the Biden presidency, it will not be as strong as it is right now. So, that's really as far as I want to get into it. Leave in a comment section below if you guys want me to talk a little bit more on politics, because I'm passionate about it. I don't like putting my feelings upon you, and I feel like that's something that a lot of whether it's news sites, whether it's CNN, whether it's Fox News, whether it's whatever, and they really just push their opinions on you, and they kind of make you believe what they want you to believe. I do like CNBC in terms of the financial articles. They do a decent job of not pushing politics on you, and that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to put my politics upon you guys. You guys don't want to hear that. You guys don't deserve that. But like I said, if you guys do want to hear me, if you guys have potential topics you guys want me to talk about, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. If you guys watch this whole video, I really appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, happy investing.